The Moment community includes an array of brilliant journalists and literary contributors, and tonight we are honoring one of them, Dara Horn. She is receiving Moment Magazine's 2023 Mitchel and Gloria Levitas Literary Journalism Award. After an outstanding career as an editor at the New York Times, Mike served as Moment's literary editor. Gloria, an anthropologist and an accomplished writer, is a contributor to Moment. Gloria couldn't join us tonight, but she had this to say about Dara. I often think of Dara Horn as two people. One is the writer of profound, direct, and hard-hitting essays about contemporary Jewish problems. The second is a spellbinding novelist who seamlessly weaves biblical history with modern Jewish life to reveal the wisdom of the Old Testament and what it teaches us about morality, forgiveness, human passions, and the elusiveness of memory. I now want to interview Sharon Karmazin, a member of Moment's advisory board and Moment's partner in the Moment Magazine Karma Foundation Short Fiction Contest, which is marking its 23rd year. Sharon, here you go.
Thank you, Robert. It's an honor to be on Moment's board and an honor to be part of Moment Magazine Karma Foundation Short Fiction Contest. It's a wonderful partnership. Together, we have built a literary presence in the Jewish world, help nurture a growing community of writers, and introduce thousands of people to these wonderful stories about Jewish life. It's my great pleasure to introduce Dara Horn. She's the author of 6 books, a 3-time recipient of the National Jewish Book Award, and this year's honoree for Moment's Literary Journalism Award. To help me introduce her, I have somebody very special. Cynthia Ozick, last year's honoree, sent me her thoughts, which I am delighted to read. Tonight, we are privileged to honor the magisterial Dara Horn. And Dara, how can I count the ways we know you? As a dedicated student at Harvard, you are not simply a pupil, but an outstanding disciple of Ruth Weiss, the sublime teacher who drew you into the riches of Yiddish language and literature. As a teacher yourself, in the broadest sense, you move and inform and augment the lives of your myriad of readers through Jewish scholarship, insight, and imaginative force. You are a novelist, not only of Jewish history, but also the history of Jewish ideas. And now you have ascended to the rarest pinnacle of all. You are what we learn to have called a public intellectual, an influential thinker who measures and illumines and forms our climate of thought. In the past, Jewish public intellectuals were prominent in the culture. Lionel Trilling, Irving Howe, Alfred Kazan, Susan Sontag, and so many others. But disparate though they were, what they had in common was solemnity. You, Dara, are a public intellectual who faces folly and makes people laugh. But you also make us think about who we are and where we are, and above all, why we are. And in an hour when these imperative defining questions press more than ever before our Jewish doubts, fears, anxieties, and the unaccustomed sense of being under siege in our exceptional America, you remind us with blazing clarity of the meaning of heritage and how it can strengthen us. A gala is a moment of celebratory gaiety, yes, but also of assessment. Yours is the crucial generation, the generation that is charged with bringing forth 100 more learned and impassioned and fearless Daras. In time, they will surely make themselves known, but meanwhile, we are grateful for this Dara Horn, whose very name resounds with the call of the shofar. Dara, congratulations, kol hakavod, mazel tov.
I don't know what to do with this. This is so beautiful. I'm truly, truly honored to be here tonight, and I was not expecting to be introduced in absentia by Cynthia Ozek, whose work has been so influential on mine. I remember discovering her work when I was 14 years old, and it reshaped my entire idea of what it could mean to be a Jewish writer in America. And this is true for a lot of what Moment has done as well, in terms of cultivating literary voices in the Jewish community, and not only cultivating literary voices, but creating an audience for Jewish literature in America. And I am really honored to be here tonight, and also to thank the Levitas family, and to celebrate with Moment, which is, of course, a magazine that's been enhancing Jewish culture and sharing uncomfortable truths since the moment of its founding. In addition to my novels, I am most recently the author of a book called People Love Dead Jews. And I still can't believe my publisher let me keep that title. And it's actually even worse than that. I have a podcast, a spin-off called Adventures with Dead Jews. And the production team and I are always joking about how we want to make merch. You know, like coffee mugs, tote bags, beach towels. No one's taking your seat at the pool with your People Love Dead Jews beach towel. And so, as you can imagine, I'm a person who really likes making other people feel uncomfortable. And there's a real reason for that. That's because one of the things that I've learned in 20 years as an author, and specifically as a Jewish writer in America, is that the uncomfortable moments are always where the story is. Because that's when you're about to learn something that you might have gone your whole life not knowing. Gloria and Mitchel Levitas both spent their lives and careers and are pushing at the comfort level of their readers, as of course Moment magazine does as well, introducing readers and audiences to ideas that might make them uncomfortable, which is a way of saying that the Levitases and Moment all share a dedication to truth. The reason I want to bring up this idea of truth, because in this moment where we find ourselves now in the Jewish community, I'm actually brought back to one of our traditional Jewish stories, which is a young Jewish story. It only goes back 500 years, the story of the Golem. The Golem was, of course, this man of clay that was brought to life by this 16th century rabbi to defend his community. And the way that the Golem came to life was that the word mate, dead, was written in his forehead. And the way the rabbi would bring this Golem to life was by adding the letter aleph to spell the word emet, meaning truth. So it is only through truth that we can defend ourselves. We are here tonight only a week after, or less than a week after, the Shloshim, the 30th day of mourning for the 1,400 people who were murdered in Israel. Of course, over 200 taken captive by an organization whose stated goal was the genocide of the Jewish people. This is not the first time the Jewish people have faced this threat. It traces back to ancient times. This story that we are all trapped in, this doom-scrolling through horror, is very, very old. But what's new is that all of us are here. Everyone here is rejecting this delusional nightmare. Those of you from within the Jewish community are brave enough to not hide and to gather here, even with the threats that face us here. Those of you from beyond the Jewish community are standing beside us to say that you reject the world's oldest form of hatred and you stand with the Jewish people. And I want to just be really clear that that is who we are. We are the Jewish people. I'm often asked when I speak around the country if Jews are a religion, if Jews are a nationality, if Jews are ethnicity. The reality is that Jews predate all of those categories. Non-Jewish communities have always, or non-Jewish societies have always tried to put Jews into whatever identity boxes they know best. But the reality is that Jews predate all of those boxes. We are Am Yisrael. We are a people with a shared homeland, history, and culture. And this is a civilization that is native to the land of Israel. The hatred that we're facing right now is very, very old, and its consistent through line is denial. Denial of the Jewish experience, Whether it's Holocaust denial or the denial of our traditions or the denial of our roots in Israel, this is a denial of our reality in order to erase us, and people have been trying this for thousands of years, and it has yet to succeed. On the horrific weekend last month, I know every person in this room was doom scrolling, but many of us were doom scrolling through the oldest doom scroll, which is the Torah. And when we got to the end of the Torah, we doom scrolled back to the beginning of the Torah to read how all people are created in the divine image. And then we doom scrolled to the sequel, where God says to Joshua the famous Hebrew words, chazak ve'ematz, be strong and courageous. So tonight, I am really honored to accept this award, but I want to offer to you in exchange the words of the God of our ancestors, chazak ve'ematz, be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous enough to keep going back to those uncomfortable places, those uncomfortable moments, to be curious and humble enough to learn what you don't yet know, and also to be curious and humble enough to learn what you don't yet know about specifically this timeless Jewish civilization that has inspired the world and has brought us all to this moment. Be strong and courageous as you carry forth with you the most uncomfortable truths, which include the reality of all human beings being created in the image of God. I want to say thank you to the Levitas family and to Moment for meeting this moment. Yisrael Chai, thank you.